everyone, this is Akush from Strongest Me Holistic Fitness and Lifestyle Coaching, and today I'm going to talk about a topic which I posted yesterday on Facebook as a question. The question was, what is most important for fat loss? And I gave you 4 options, which is water, exercise, nutrition and sleep. And I got quite a few comments, which is quite interesting. So there were many different answers. Surprisingly, all of them ended with B. So any kind of order people put in the rest, the B was the last one. So people think that exercise is the least important for fat loss. So even water is more important for fat loss than exercise in most people's opinion. But I asked just which single one is most important without putting them in order, then nutrition became the most important. So the most popular answer was a C, A, D, B order. So this is a very complicated question, and I'm going to give you my opinion on it, and you can look at it from many different angles. I'm going to give you what I know from experience, mostly with clients, and from my experience as well as an individual, and from obviously what I studied as well. So yeah, this just shows very well why I call my business a holistic fitness and lifestyle coaching business rather than just personal training, because all these things you need to consider. So when you go to personal training school, they teach you a lot about exercise, how to train safely and effectively. They teach you a little bit about nutrition, just very basics, and a lot about anatomy as well, which is part of the exercise. So they teach you a lot about the body and then how to move and how to burn calories and how to build muscle, etc. So, but they don't teach you much about all the other things, so that has to come from experience. So when I started to be a personal trainer, starting out from totally zero, then all the clients who came to me, they mostly wanted weight loss, obviously. So what I did is, what I knew, which I learned, is train hard. I told them how to exercise properly, how to exercise effectively, and I told them how much they should be doing a minimum to get some results, or if they were more motivated or had more free time, then if they could train more 4, 5, 6 times a week, then we did something like that, depending on their schedule. So this is what I did, and in that way I got some very good results. Obviously I gave them nutrition advice as well, but the most focus was on exercise. So some people got very good results. People got 6-packs and all kinds of huge weight loss of 20+ kilos, etc. But not everyone, unfortunately. So, and not even most people got significant results. Everybody lost a little bit of weight, but only very few got significant results, and very few got 0 to little results. So because of that reason, I would say that exercise is not the #1 most important thing for fat loss. So the people who got very good results with me focusing on exercise mainly and nutrition as well were people who what I noticed after maybe a year or so of training, maybe a little bit even longer than a year it took me to notice that I was questioning why because when someone come to me, I give them the same knowledge, the same motivation, the same type of coaching from me, but not everybody got the same results. So I was thinking in why, and I was looking at these people and looking at the notes, everything, scratching my head literally, and what I noticed that the people who got the results, basically what I call them is the people who have their life in order. So those people mostly like their job, yeah. They had a happy family, or they were very happy being single. They had a good social life. They got plenty rest. They eat fairly well, even if they were eating out, they didn't binge all over the place. So basically their life was in order. Yeah. So when your life is order, when you're happy most of the time, obviously nobody is always happy, but when you're happy most of the time and you're happy with your life in general, then, you know, and if you haven't been exercising or not the best way or just not enough, then if you improve the exercise, then you can lose a lot of weight and you can get into great shape. Yeah. But if everything else is not in order, then that's not so likely to work. Yeah. So when I started being very interested in fitness and trying to, well, we wouldn't say lose weight because I never was overweight, but there was one summer a few years ago, maybe 6 years ago or so, 7, I don't know. So, you know, I had a fairly average body, but I decided that in a few months time when I go home for a holiday in the summer, then I want to have a six-pack because we go to the beach a lot and everything, and I want to feel good, I want to feel confident, and I literally want to have a six-pack. I don't just want to look okay, I want to look like the guys in the magazines. And then I started, you know, reading a lot, and I read actually a lot of magazines, which can be misleading a lot and can have a lot of shitty information or silly information in it, and they obviously want to sell you a lot of things, so they want you to spend your money a lot. But what I found very good in them, that they were very motivating for me, so I bought them pretty much every month, and I was reading that, and it was very motivating, and it kept on going, always gave me some good exercise ideas, some little tips, and I kind of, you know, basically I think I just had common sense and I could pick up when something sounded like bullshit, so I just skipped those things over and just focused on the things which looked effective. And so I started training for a few months, pretty hard and quite a lot, like 5-6 times a week, and I got fairly good results. I built some muscle, I looked okay, but the six-pack was nowhere near. So I was like, I don't know what to do. I do everything I can, what these magazines say, what some books I read said, online obviously I did a lot of research, but the six-pack just didn't want to come up. So then I went to a professional who advised me on nutrition in detail. So I gave him a food diary, etc. We talked about my lifestyle, everything, and you know, at this time when I was training so hard, I also took the nutrition tips from the magazines and from the books and from online, and yet this was not what I needed, and the results were not what I wanted. So I went to this person, I told him about nutrition. I paid him for 1 hour. I didn't have a lot of money at the time. I paid him for 1 hour. I told him about nutrition. He told me what to eat, told me what not to eat, and you know, by training for 3 months or so, pretty hard, and eating what I thought was okay, I kept training the same way and living the same way, and then I was eating this way which this trainer told me to do. Then in 3 weeks my abs were showing up, you know. So and I see this a lot in my clients as well, that people think that they eat healthy, yet they are overweight or they are not in the shape they want to be. So healthy is not necessarily what your body needs, if that makes sense. So, you know, healthy is a very broad range. You know, there's a lot of things healthy in this world, but you can still eat a lot more than you should. You might be eating more of a certain nutrient, more than you need, and then that gets stored as fat, etc. So, you know, so you just need a bit more of a balance with everything, and a lot of the sad part is that what you see in mainstream media is mostly what is the opposite of what works. So that's quite sad. So that's why people come to us trainers for advice and kind of confused and very surprised when we tell them that, okay, I usually ask, even when I talk to nutrition about my clients, I ask them before I look at their food diary or look at anything, I ask them on a scale from 1 to 10, how healthy do you think you are eating? You know, 10 being perfect and 1 being very, very shit. So, and then most of the time they give me a higher range of this good eating, so maybe a maybe a 7, 8 or so, and that might be the case, but even when they do this, most of the time I would not agree with it, or if I agree with it, then they're always just overeating. So nutrition is pretty important. So again, this shows you how basically all these are important, you know, and you should look at all of these. So when someone comes to me and they eat well, but they haven't been exercising, they start exercising, they are going to lose weight. If like I have been exercising a lot and fairly well, I think, even though I wasn't a PT at the time, I just wasn't eating the right thing. So I had everything else in order, but not nutrition, so I changed the nutrition, and then everything just fell in place. So yeah, water wise, I would say for fat loss itself, it's not the most important thing. It's very important for health in general, and just, you know, keep you alive, but not super important for fat loss. So it's only important for people who don't drink water or drink very little, which I find really strange, but there are people who just drink juice all day, and even if you just drink flavored drinks and 0-calorie drinks, but if you drink that all the time, that's not good, and it can make you overweight and fat, and unhealthy, which is not great. So water is great. It can give you more energy, it can make your brain work a bit better. You definitely don't want to be dehydrated, so do drink a lot of water in general, but that's not the most important. So if you drink, I say, at least a liter of water a day, other than other drinks, then you'll be fine. But if you drink 0 or just a very little water, then you definitely should increase water intake. But the question was fat loss, so that's definitely not the most important thing. So again, going back to my clients. So people who had their life in order, their work, their relationships, their schedules, including the sleep. So when these were in order, then even small changes, so they didn't have to train super hard, so they trained 3 times a week, a full body workout, fairly simple. We cut down on the colors a little bit, we cut down on the junk a little bit, and they can lose weight fairly easy. So, but I also had clients who come to me, and these are usually quite ambitious and hardworking people actually, but so they can come to me for advice, and I teach them to exercise, I teach them how to eat healthy just like anyone else I do, and yet they don't get results. Some people, or very little, and that was very confusing when I started to be a personal trainer, and it's still confusing sometimes, but not in that, because now I know what is happening, but it's hard to change this kind of lifestyle and behavior. So again, it took me quite a while, a couple of years, why people who train hard, eat fairly healthy, and yet can't lose weight. And then not just the sleep comes into place, but what's related to this more is the stress, or the management of stress, which sleep is a very big part of that. So if someone comes to me who they might even like their job, but a lot of times they don't, it just pays well, and they're really busy and they work all day, and then they go to meetings in the evening or socialize with their clients in the evening because they're supposed to, and they drink alcohol and they eat out all the time, and go home and do a bit more paperwork to catch up with things, or do a meeting, I don't know, a call with Japan or America or whatever, and then they go to bed, and then they sleep there a few hours, maybe 6 hours, and then they start again. And in all this busy day, when they're working and meeting people and getting things done, these people are so motivated and so hardworking and so busy that even in the middle of the day they get in a workout. Yeah. So they're doing all they can, and they might even prep their food. They just eat, or even without prepping, they choose the healthy options, and yet they're not losing weight, or they're not in the shape as they want to be in. So that's when I noticed that these people who might look like their life is in order, and they are very effective in certain things and hardworking. But if they are overstressed mentally or physically, the body is not going to lose weight and it's not going to lose fat. So stress is a very big word and it covers a lot of things. What I like to tell my clients and what you should need to know, and it's really a simple thing, that stress, wherever it's coming from, for the body is the same. So we have a stress hormone called cortisol. Whatever stress you have in your life, your body produces cortisol. Cortisol stops you losing fat. It basically just, just puts you into a mode where you're just basically just surviving and just being, rather than doing any kind of positive changes. So your body doesn't heal. Your body, if you get ill or something like that, or it doesn't heal from training, it doesn't lose fat. It's just a bit more of a stagnant kind of state of being, if that makes sense, when you're under stress. Or it might even store more fat. So so stress. So whether that's coming from, let's say, you have a shitty boss or shitty colleagues who annoy you all the time, or you're just not happy with your working schedule in general, or you're not happy with your relationship at home, or I don't know, you have financial problems, or you're just not doing what you would like to do in life in general because you work so much. I even read lately about depression and stuff like that, that even aloneness and loneliness causes your body to produce cortisol. And obviously stresses, like physical stresses, like if someone's attacking you or something, that's a stress as well. So your body reacts the same way, producing cortisol when someone is attacking you, or when your boss is just being a dick and you don't like it and you hold it in, and your body has the same reaction. And your body has the same reaction to lack of sleep, and also exercise is a stress on the body. It's a physical stress. You lift weights, you ask your body to exert energy, and from that you need energy to recover, basically. So it's a stress which your body, if everything is in order, your body adapts to that stress and you get fitter, you get stronger, and you lose weight. But if everything else is not in order, then extra stress is just adding to the other stresses, and then it's just going to overflow, and your body is going to probably, either you get injured if you're training a lot, if you don't train a lot, you're probably going to get sick, or you get depressed, or all of these, which is not great. So yeah, you can think of these as, you have a, I don't know, a big sink or something, and then all kinds of things are going in there. So like relationships, you have exercise, you have work, you have your sleep or the lack of it, you have any kind of danger in your life, whatever, and all these are flowing into the stress bowl or sink. And if there's too many of these, even stress is like eating junk food is a stress, because your body has to process all the junk, even though it's not giving you any energy. You need to take energy to process that, and especially if it's not useful chemicals, shit like that, additives, your body has to produce all that. So that's a stress as well. If you, I don't know, chemicals can be a stress, cleaning products in your home which are not natural, all this is stress. So you can see how all these little things can add up. So if someone comes to me, and that's why I became a holistic lifestyle coach rather than just a personal trainer. So if someone comes to me, I always look at everything before we start exercising. So I ask them about their sleep, about their nutrition, about their relationships, about their work, about their stress levels, about everything in there, about their digestion, whatever you can think of, I talk to them about, and then I decide whether they are ready to exercise hard and that will be good for them and beneficial, or not. If someone comes to me who is clearly overstressed, not happy at home, not happy at work, not eating healthy, not sleeping enough, I am not going to train them especially hard. So I might give them corrective exercises, I might give them breathing exercises, yoga type of exercises, which actually can create energy and can make you feel better by bringing you more oxygen and opening up spaces which might be locked in. But I'm definitely not going to get them to lift weights, etc., because that would be just an additional stress. So I would ask them to improve on their sleep. So yeah, again, going back to sleep, this is why I think sleep is number one on the list for fat loss, because everything else can be in order. If your sleep is not in order, if you sleep very little or just not enough for you, your body is not going to adapt to all these stresses. Yeah, and if you feel kind of okay but not very low or not very overweight or not, I don't know, not too bad, it's just gonna take longer. Eventually it's gonna happen. You're gonna get sick, you're gonna get injured or whatever. Something bad is gonna happen if you don't address this thing. So in my opinion, sleep is number one. If you have good sleep, if you have plenty of sleep, then yeah, you want to focus on nutrition, exercise and the rest. But if not, then that would be the number one. And sleep, just think about sleep in the group of stress management. Okay, so sleep, stress management, I mean, first of all, reducing whatever stresses you can, yeah, so, you know, you can eat healthier, you can eat less junk, you can maybe, I don't know, if your relationship is very bad, you can get out of it, you can try to fix it. Your job, if it's very shitty, again, you can address it, you can talk to people, you can leave your job, whatever you need to do. But if you don't address these, then it's never going to change. Yeah, so one way or another you need to address these issues. If you don't, then you're just going to be at the same place, which is very sad. So, and that's not the way you want to live anyway. So that's number one. If you feel like your life is very low in stress and you feel good, then after that, the number one would be nutrition in my list. So if you think you sleep enough and your life is fairly happy, you're living the way you want to live most of the time, then the first step to lose weight or fat should be eating better if your nutrition is not great. And once the nutrition is good, yeah, so you should be able to lose a bit of weight, maybe not huge amount of weight, maybe not all the weight you want, but you should be able to lose some weight if you eat a lot healthier and if you eat the amounts that you need. So you don't want to definitely don't, even if you eat healthy, you can again overeat, so be careful about that. Okay, so eat healthy and eat as much as your body needs. And with sleep as well, sleep and nutrition being connected, you know, in the way that if you don't get enough sleep, then your brain is not that clear, your hormones are not produced the same way, so your body produces hormones at night, which influences your hunger and your satisfaction after eating, your feeling of satisfaction. So it's all connected. So once you get enough sleep and you reduce stress in general, it will be even easier to eat healthy and eat well, and your body will react to things better. Okay, and once these two things are ordered, then you can think about exercise. And then as well, depending on your time and other stress levels, so let's say you have loads of stresses and then you just reduce a few of them and you still have a few, and then you can maybe think about adding a little bit of extra stress of the exercise. So something light, going for long walks, hikes, things like that, doing yoga, going for a short jog, whatever your body can handle, things like that, or Pilates, something more gentle but still moving your body. So you can think about that as well. Yeah, so not everybody can change everything in their stress sink as such, but if you let's say you reduce half of it, then you can maybe start exercising gently or slowly build it up and see how you feel. And water is very important, as I said, in general for health and wellness, but it's not the most important for fat loss. So I think I covered everything I wanted here. Yeah, so my list is D, and then C, and then B, and then A. And just A we can even just cut this out because it's not super related to fat loss but for general health. So whenever you want to lose weight, then I would just look at all of these and decide where you are lacking the most in this order. Yeah. So look at your sleep first and your stress management, all the stresses in your life, relationships, physical stress, nutritional stress, chemical stress. Look at those, try to reduce them as much as you can. If you think you're great, you have zero stress or very little, then look at the nutrition. If you look at the nutrition, if you think you are eating healthy, then either think again, maybe talk to a professional, or if you really are pretty sure that you are eating healthy, then you need to think about how much you are eating. So that's very important. And if you think you are eating healthy and you're not eating more than you should, and your stress levels were low or medium, not too high, then you can start exercising, slowly building up, and just drink a lot of water along the way in general. So I decided to cut the video a bit short because it ended up being more than half an hour long, so I didn't want to bore you for too long. I think I covered everything I wanted and what's important and what I think you should know. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. Okay, comment below, comment on Facebook, message on Facebook, whatever you need to do. Feel free to ask. If you have any opinions, if you don't agree with something, please comment as well. I'm happy to get criticism. That's how you learn and grow. And if you agree, if you think that was great advice or you learned something new, also please comment, okay, and let me know so I can create more useful content for you guys. So I shall see you again soon. Watch your sleep, your nutrition, exercise, and water as well if you want to be healthy and happy and fit. Okay, see you again soon.